Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to get to what matters. Today we're diving into something pretty profound, actually. It's found in, well, maybe an unexpected place. A text called Daily Heavenly Manna, July 1st. And this isn't just, looking at an old text. We're trying to uncover a really surprising insight here, something that maybe challenges how we think about aligning with the will of God.
And becoming an overcomer.
Right, exactly. Our reference point is Ephesians 5, verses 8 and 10. Walk as children of light, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord. So what does this manna text really tell us about proving what's acceptable? Let's get into it. The core idea in this text, it throws a bit of a curveball, doesn't it? Right from the start.
It really does.
It talks about a path to, let's say, spiritual achievement that might not be what you'd first think of. It says quite boldly, if our wills be dead and the Lord's will be fully accepted as ours in thought, word, and act, we have attained the will of God and will win the prize as overcomers. Now that phrase, if our wills be dead, that sounds intense, right?
It does. Very intense. And for many, spiritual progress feels like it must involve lots of action, visible things.
Yes, exactly. Deeds you can point to. But this text seems to suggest something, well, different.
It absolutely does. And this is where it gets really fascinating, because the source immediately explains this overcomer idea and how this dead will works. It states this deep internal alignment is achievable, even if, and this is the key part, opportunities being denied us. We never preached, never gave to the poor, and never suffered as martyrs for the truth's sake.
Wow. Okay, stop there for a second. That completely changes the game, doesn't it?
It really does. Think about that. The ultimate prize, being an overcomer, it says, isn't primarily about those big external things we often focus on.
Things people can see.
Right. It's about an inner surrender, letting go of your own agenda, your self-focused desires, so that something higher, the Lord's will, can actually guide your thoughts, words, actions.
So the focus shifts dramatically from outward performance
To inner transformation. Exactly.
Okay, so if it's not mainly about the big visible actions, what is the number one requirement then, according to this source? This is often where people, get a bit tripped up.
Precisely. And connecting it back, the source makes an even clearer statement. It emphasizes, this is the will of God concerning you, even your sanctification.
Sanctification.
Yes. And here, sanctification, it's not just some abstract idea of being holy. It's presented as the supreme goal, that internal alignment of your whole being, your thoughts, your desires, your actions, all lining up with that higher will. It's maybe less a destination you arrive at and more like a constant recalibration.
Like adjusting your inner compass.
That's a great way to put it. It's less about what you do externally and much more about who you are becoming inside, that deep, total acceptance of God's will.
That's incredibly insightful, shifting from doing to being. But okay, how does this internal reality, the sanctification, actually guide us day to day? The text gives some direction there, right?
It does, yes. It highlights that this truth, this idea of sanctification, it needs to dominate our course in life.
Dominate, strong word.
It is. And it shouldn't be beclouded or obscured by other ideas, whether they're truths or errors. It's almost like a warning telling you, the listener, keep this central. Keep it front and center.
Don't get distracted.
Right. Imagine you have a perfect map for a forest, but your compass is way off. You'll still get lost.
Makes sense.
This text is saying, step one, make sure that compass, your inner will, is pointing true north, calibrated correctly.
And the result of that calibration, what happens when, as the text says, God's will is really our will? What's the payoff?
Ah, yes, the payoff. This internal alignment where your will is truly in sync, that's what brings direction. It provides purpose. The text promises a clearly marked pathway before us if God's will becomes our will.
So it's not about finding some external map.
No, it's about aligning your inner compass, and then the path you're meant to be on just becomes clear. It unfolds right in front of you. It offers that real sense of direction, purpose.
Okay. So to wrap up our deep dive today into this daily heavenly manna passage for July 1st, the core insight, it seems, is this powerful emphasis on internal sanctification. That complete acceptance, that surrender to a higher will. This inner change is framed as the fundamental way to fulfill your purpose, to become an overcomer. And it potentially redefines what we thought was necessary. Those external actions maybe aren't the primary thing.
Exactly. And maybe a final thought for you to consider as you reflect on this. What does it truly mean for your will, personally, to be dead? And, to fully accept the Lord's will in every part of you, thought, word, and act. How might focusing internally change what it means for you to be proving what is acceptable unto the Lord in your own life?
Hmm.
It's a powerful challenge, really, to how we usually think about purpose and achievement. It suggests the biggest work, the most important work,
Hmm.
might just be that quiet work happening inside.